Welcome everyone to the Sci-Fi Queens podcast, where we celebrate all things sci-fi and fantasy. If you're new to our channel, we ask that you hit that subscribe and notification bell so that you know when our next episodes are coming up. And if you want to support our channel, you can go to our website that's scrolling at the bottom of the page, sci-fi-queens.net. You're going to find information on the queens. You're going to find information on our episodes, as well as information, the links to our merch store as well. Tonight, we are going to continue with our Black History Month celebration. We're going to be talking about Black characters done right. And who better to talk to than Kawan and Maurice, who are incredible authors who have written a beautiful fantasy book called Finders Keeper, The Age of Apophis. And we're just going to be having a great time talking to them and talking about writing Black characters. So we've got a full screen tonight. So how are you guys doing? Let's start first with Sarah. How are you doing today, Sarah? What's going on?
I'm doing good. Sorry, I had a little technical difficulties, but I'm here.
It's okay, it happens. And then we have Tiffany, the queen of the nerds. These are my two lovely co-hosts. How are you doing?
I am here. Hold on. I actually can't even see. I am here. Now I see all of you beautiful faces. I am here. Seemingly on time. You
guys definitely came in just on time.
But as you know, I was getting my notes together. I had to get my notes, and you know I had to have notes. So
yes,
I'm ready.
You definitely have notes, and that's all good. We love the notes. Now we have with us, and I want you ladies to give them a big sci-fi queen welcome, Maurice and Huang, who wrote Finders Keepers. And it's the book that I've been talking about this whole month. And they're here to talk to us about Black characters done right and about their book, which if you have not read it, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Get it together and get their book because it's pretty awesome, okay? So, Maurice, how are you doing today? Tell us what's going on with you.
It's Friday. I'm doing well. I'm happy to be alive and here with you queens, of course. Definitely excited to talk to y'all. And I feel so welcome. You know, Nita, you and I were kind of just chopping it up like family behind the scenes. So I just feel excited for this. And I'm honored to be in y'all presence.
Oh, wonderful. And how are you now? Do you want your to be called Huang or Kawan? Because I know in your book it's spelled a little different.
Yeah, my name is Kawan, but people normally just call me Juan because everybody just always tries to shorten my name all the time. So you could call me
I get it. No one gets my name right either. Don't worry about it. I understand, brother.
Yeah.
So Tiffany, do you want to give us a little bit of background here?
Yes.
She has been leading us through this whole Black History Month, and she is so fully prepared. So why don't you start, Tiff?
Yes, I will first start by saying if my camera goes off and it's a photo of Elmo, everybody please work with me on that. My daughter,
we rock with Elmo.
every one of my
here.
profile pictures is gonna be Elmo. Okay, so if my camera goes off and it's Elmo avatar, just roll with it. Okay.
Listen,
all right. So right, for real. Okay, so when you think of your favorite sci-fi, fantasy, or horror characters, like who comes to mind? Maybe it's a starship captain wrestling with prophecy and fatherhood. Maybe it's a teenager swinging by between skyscrapers in a hoodie, trying to live up to a legacy that was never meant for him. Maybe it's a woman with a katana and a silent strength that spoke louder than words. For decades, if you were a fan of these genres and you were Black, you learned to search. You scanned the background of space stations. You looked twice at characters who might only get one scene. You celebrated the ones who survived past the first act because in horror, that was never guaranteed, of course. You know the trope, the Black character dies first. The sidekick with no backstory, the wise elder who exists only to guide the white hero. For too long, that's what we got. But here's the thing, we were always here. We were here when
Yes.
Octavia Butler wrote about genetic engineering and alien survival decades before anyone else, becoming the first science fiction writer to win the MacArthur Genius Grant. We were here when Nichelle Nichols stood on the bridge of the Enterprise in the 1960s, and Dr. Martin Luther King told her she couldn't quit because she was showing us the future. And now we're not just surviving the story, we are leading it. In this episode, we are going to be celebrating the Black characters that were done right. The ones who weren't just written well, they were written with depth, arcs, and humanity. The ones who
Yes.
made fans cheer and cry and cosplay. The ones who proved that representation isn't about checking a box, it's about showing the full, beautiful, complicated spectrum of what it means to be Black in a world that excludes us. From Wakanda to deep space to the zombie apocalypses to cosmic horrors, we're breaking down the characters who changed the game. All right, Nita, pick
All
it up.
right.
Can we give
Yes.
you a round of applause
Yeah,
for
you
that?
killed that.
Yes,
Yo, the world is
absolutely.
listening.
You
Yes.
guys
Yeah.
are fire
Yes.
tonight.
Thank you.
Tiffany is not just the queen of the nerds, but she is a law student, so she brings it.
Oh, you talk that
She
talk.
You're
Okay.
brings
right.
You
You're right. I can talk the talk. I can talk the talk, baby.
it.
okay.
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 Now I
And
will try not to talk all night, but I do have
I
something
heard,
to say.
I heard your Cisco representation there with Star Trek. He got my
I knew you were
heart
gonna pick
always
it up.
and
I had to
forever.
make sure to put something in, a little Easter egg for you. You know,
Yes, absolutely. Captain
I love a good
Cisco of
Easter
the
egg.
Star Trek Deep Space Nine is my favorite captain.
Yes, it
I think
is.
he's one of the characters that was done excellently. I
Yes.
mean, he was the best captain.
Mm-hmm.
He was.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Mm-hmm.
the best captain, the best leader, an incredible father, which I will say, I love the fact that they made him a single dad because it showed and highlighted this
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, intelligent Black man being an incredible father. And we need that representation, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So that's, he will always hold a special place in my heart for sure. Um, Definitely. Now, Maurice and Juan have created characters in their book that are absolutely divine. I encourage everyone to read this book, but not just read it for themselves, but if you read to your children, read this book to them because this is a book that you can read to them. This is a book that will show your children that they can be represented in this beautiful way. And their collaboration, and I've said this before this month, and I'm going to say it in front of them because that's what I do to embarrass you, is that their collaboration is an example of Black excellence. Their book is an example of brotherly love and excellence. If you read it, you feel the writing, you feel the energy that was put into it. And I want to start with Maurice. Tell me about writing Black characters. Tell me about what that means to you.
Realistically, I think as a writer, I've never thought about writing anything other than Black characters. So it was never really like a thought process of, are they gonna be Black? It's like, I'm Black, so yes. That's my thought. Like every time I write, and our characters are not even from, if they're not from Earth even, but even so, either way, they didn't have to be human in order for us to still
Hmm.
say they're gonna look like us.
Yeah.
So that was the important factor. And I think when I think about the Black characters, especially as a writer, it's always a thought like, okay, well, s- yes, this is what it is, but I am a overthinker about what that representation looks like. Thinking about things from, you know colorism, size phobia, things like that. What are we gonna portray, and how we portray these people is something that's always in my mind, because yes, I can portray Black characters, but I may have my own bias I don't recognize and can be doing more
Hmm.
damage than good. So
Oh yeah, absolutely. That is so true. Before I get to Huang, I wanted to ask Sarah, you have a mixed child. So talk
Yes.
to me about reading books where people of color are being represented, and reading it, you as someone who is not a person of color, but you have a child who's mixed. Talk to me about that experience for you, and how important that is as a mom.
Well, it's good because it gives me some perspective because, I'm the epitome of a white person. I grew up privileged, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, hippie, not hillbilly, but like granola crunchy, all that stuff. And I don't, I mean, I'll be honest, there was one girl in our high school that was of color. And I still remember her name. She was a nice girl, but like there was only one girl. And we had a pretty big, we had a pretty big class. So reading books where there's representation and watching movies and shows and everything, it helps because like I was gonna say last week when we sat down and watched Wakanda, we watched. It was me and my best friend, who's also a white woman, and she has mixed kids. And we sat down with our mixed kids and watched this movie, and they were so excited to see themselves represented on the screen. And it was just amazing to watch these three,
Mm,
preteen girls
yeah.
just ecstatic to be able to watch that. And we even did it again when Wakanda Forever came out. We did it. We planned a movie night. We got pizza and we sat down and all watched it
Love
together.
that. Yeah.
And it's just interacting with her helps too. That my friend, because she's got mixed kids too, so we can kind of bridge the gap together and kind of like navigate these potholes sometimes.
Hmm.
Um, like I know I talked to Tiffany about it that like sometimes Leah will ask a question and I'm like and I want to answer her, but like we have to think about the optics of what it looks like if we're going to be
Hmm.
talking about like one day we were walking in the hardware store and she asked a question about something about Black history and I said, well, I tried to answer it as best as I could, but like
Yeah.
not go really into it. And I said, we need to change the subject and we will come back to this, but I don't want to be explaining this to you and then somebody see me and think that because she doesn't look mixed sometimes. I mean,
Exactly,
she's
she
all
doesn't.
she she's black, Polynesian, and white. So she is she's brown. She gets mistaken
Hmm.
for Hispanic sometimes.
Yeah.
And I don't, I have to think about, she doesn't think about it because she just is. Like you were saying, that you just are. So why
Yeah.
would you not write black characters? Because that's,
Right.
Hmm.
that's who you are. Um, but I have to remind her that, like I'm white as white can be. I'm white bread. And sometimes I can't be talking about, because
Yeah.
I don't want to be talking about something and somebody look at me and be like, well, why are you talking about that? And like, why are you
Right.
telling your kid about that? And like, it is our history too, because she needs to know this stuff. And Tiffany, you've
Right.
helped some with that.
Right. When I keep
You've
saying
sent
stuff,
some things, you
I'm like,
sent
show
some
this
things
to
my
Leah.
way. Yes, no, show this to Leah. And I'm like, okay. And
That's
even
right, sis.
even I even being
Hmm.
on the show, finding scientists and stuff
Yeah.
for the show, and then some of the topics that we do, I talk to her about, and she's like, "Well, that's really cool," or like, "Oh wow!" Like I don't know. I decided to tell you guys. I got these books. Um,
Oh,
uh,
great.
it's Black Women in Science and Black Inventors, and
Oh,
um,
beautiful.
we're gonna read them together, and I mean it's for kids, so it'll be easy for me apparently. But we can read them together and explore together, and learn about one person, every couple of days, and then go from there. But it's not just Black history; it's her history.
Right.
So that makes it hard sometimes because I have no experience with it.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, Tiffany's been helpful. And then even doing these, like when we do these special shows, even the Pride Month and Hispanic Heritage, all of these, and, what is the other? Women and Girls in Science is the next one, I
Yes.
think.
Hmm.
And,
That's it.
and just learn, I'm learning too, and when we're educating the public, but we're also learning, and I'm
Yeah.
able to share with my child. And it's, I don't know, I like being
Yeah.
her being
Yeah.
able to see
Yeah.
people that look like her,
Yeah.
if that makes
Yes.
sense.
It
Definitely.
is. It does
Yeah.
absolutely make
Yeah.
sense.
And I
Mhm.
Now,
always see you.
Kawan, yeah. Now, I want to hear from Kawan. I want to know, what is it that inspires you when you're writing Black characters? What part of you dig into, and why write characters the way you do?
For me, everything is about the soul. Like it's literally the essence of my existence. So even if I'm trying to tell a different story, it's gonna come from the lens that I experienced the most.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much history. There's so much things that always get passed by, especially when we talk about
Mhm.
like mass media.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
even when they tell stories that we know come from our culture, it's not always done correctly. It's like additives or things taken out, so it doesn't feel the way it kind of
Hmm.
should feel. So like when we were working on our
Mhm.
book, that was big for us to make sure that what we talk about, the names we use, the
Mhm.
languages that we use, the representation that's in that story, it resonate and hit you in the soul because that's where we were writing
Mhm.
from.
Yeah, and that's important because it makes it, and you could see when you read this book, guys, you will see that because it makes you feel connected to these characters, the way they write
Mhm.
them. It makes you feel um, like you're a part of the story, and that's important. And I think that when we're writing about people of color, and you're writing stories about people of color, and you're describing them and you're caring for them in these books, that this comes out, and I think that you guys had each other to feed on. And did you guys ever go, hey Maurice, maybe not describe this person this way because it comes off this way? Like, did you guys ever like feed off of each other or help each other out with descriptions? Because I know I'm writing a book and I call Tiffany and go, can I say
Hey,
this,
I didn't
this,
know you
and
were gonna
this
bring it up, but I was like,
about my
okay.
black character?
Like, is it okay how to describe him? And I was like, no.
Because I'm like, oh, he
It was this way. Make sure you say
hot.
brown.
Nah, I would say we definitely everything about we've been best friends since college. So in more ways than just finders keepers, we feed off of each other. When we were like in the midst of the story, a lot of the things were like, all right, well, what do you see in this? And then we kind of just build from the ground up together. The only characters that were like the easiest was the brothers because one of the brothers represents me, the other brother Cairo represents Maurice. So
I
those
saw that in there. I
yeah
saw that.
the that those descriptions, that energy was just like bang, all right, we got that. And then when we were building everybody else, it was kind of like almost like a blueprint, like we're looking for this for a mother character, we're looking for this
Yes.
to represent a father figure, we're looking for this to kind of represent a cousin or a best friend. And you know, we just bounce ideas until we finally settle on something that we fall in love with.
That's
and it,
beautiful.
and
Go
there's
ahead.
Yeah.
always this thought process of like, while you're not overly thinking like I want someone that looks like this, I want someone that looks like this, you also are consciously thinking like, we'll have conversations where it's like, okay, well, we just made, like, right now, I don't this was not intentional, but we have two light-skinned girls who are on the good side and the dark-skinned girl is the bad one. So that's not you feel me? Like, you see how we gotta, like, we gotta think
Yeah.
about that, because while you're not intentionally going out to put those optics out there, you are doing it. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
there is a sense of
Be nice to my
understanding.
dark skinned girls, okay?
Like, my
Yeah.
sisters need to be at the top,
Right.
just like
Right.
my light skinned sisters, like
Yeah.
everybody, but thinking about that consciously, because when you're doing it, you might just be, oh, I already used that. Let me make somebody look like this. And then it's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, now you just changed the whole story and you didn't even mean to do
Yes.
that. So we do take
Yes.
that into account sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Um.
it's beautiful that you guys can do that with each other. Like I'm reading my book alone, but I'm very grateful that I have Sarah and Tiffany because I can go, ooh. let me feed off of their energy and their advice, because there are things that I'm not going to know firsthand,
Mm-hmm.
and I may think in my head, oh, I'm writing this character, he's gorgeous and he's beautiful and he's black, and I'm going, I want to describe him like this and that, and she's like,
Yeah,
there's not a
no,
romance. There's not a romance. Let's take it down a notch.
take it
You
down.
can't say that. I'm like, oh, okay, I can't say that. But it's good to have that feedback off
Yeah.
of each other.
Oh yeah.
But Sarah, I'm sorry, you were gonna say something?
Um, I was just gonna say, is it? I was gonna ask the guys. Do you have a lot of struggles with that? Like having, where there's hidden pitfalls of like, uh-oh, we, made the light skinned people the good ones and the dark skinned people the bad ones.
Right.
Like, and not just that trope, but like
Right.
other tropes. Do you find yourself like unintentionally falling into them and then having to go back and fix them a lot? Just because it's the way culture is and, how media is, I guess.
I'll say this, like to be, and not to sound braggadocious, but my bachelor's is in broadcast journalism. So
Okay.
I understand media, or I was taught media all through college, and how things come off and how representation actually looks, despite
Mhm.
what you may think it looks like. So a lot of times when we were working on things, that was kind of where that brain kicked in, where it would be like,
Okay.
okay, well, if we're gonna have, we can't, like, bro, we have to have a main character who's also a woman. Like, it can't just be two guys, because there
Mm-hmm.
are people who
Yeah.
are only going to care about what the woman has going on compared to us, and we can't make her, she can't be getting kidnapped. And we're coming
No
to save
damsel
her.
in
Like,
distress. Yeah.
like
Right,
there's
right, right, right.
certain things that you just have to, that we, and
Yeah.
I will say, we may have, dropped the ball and not noticed it. The people will tell us when we did. But in the meantime, we are very consciously trying to make sure, like, okay, well, at least if we
Mm-hmm.
do something, we at least put effort into making sure we didn't fall short.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Will there be a
yeah.
book 3, or is this a duology?
Oh, it will be a book 3. We working on that
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
We working on that right now.
Okay.
Nita loves a good trilogy.
Yep.
I
Okay.
do. I love trilogies. I absolutely do. You give me a trilogy and I love it because I think that it gives the writers, and maybe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it gives you more room to explore
Mm-hmm.
character development and the storyline development because you have that continuation
Yeah.
going
That
on.
beginning, middle, and end.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was big for
That's a
us.
very
When we was diving into the story, um, originally we had wrote this long, like we call it the Bible. It's like we didn't know nothing about formatting. We was 8 by 11, 500 pages. Like it was
right.
crazy.
Oh,
It was
And
crazy.
we got to the point where yeah, it was a lot. We got to the point where it
we
was
need some edits.
we learned about formatting, and
Mm.
that changed everything. Like when we were trying to go through the publishing process, and as we went through that process, it kind of forced us to not kind of forced it forced us to redo the book. Like we split that Bible up into 3 different parts. But then in the
Yeah.
process of like kind of recreating it, it was like we have a whole universe here. Like we could
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
Yeah.
the sky really is the limit. So we started
Yeah.
writing short stories and novellas and all kinds of things that all
Yeah.
feed into the main storyline. So even once, Finders Keepers, even after find the book that we're working on now, it will still be things that continue to feed that universe.
Mm-hmm. To
Yeah.
expand the
Did
universe.
I did I not say they are representative of black excellence? Did I have I not
You
been
said it.
saying
You
that
said
all
it. You
month
said it.
long?
You said it.
Thank
We
you. Thank
appreciate you
you.
so much,
You
Queen.
did.
Ooh.
You did. You
No,
did.
absolutely. No, the way they communicate with each other reminded me the way the three of us communicate because I was watching them on TikTok live and I'm going, I need to read their book just because, and they weren't even talking about their book.
Yeah, we
But
did
the
that.
That's a
way they
fact.
communicated with each other, I
Yeah.
was like, if they communicate that well, they have to write well together.
Yeah.
I felt it in my bones. And I was like, I need to get that book. And as I'm listening to them on TikTok, I got it on Kindle, like right then and there, because I needed to know more about them. And I think that their writing is so telling of who they are. Um, and I'm reading it as I'm going to my dance class, and I almost miss my stop because my head is this way. If
Oh,
you've ever taken a New York City train, you
Mm,
can easily miss a stop
Mr.
real
Stop.
quick if you don't pay attention,
Mhm.
especially on 34th Street, which is super crowded,
Mm,
and I'm like,
hmm.
oh, I gotta get out of here.
Right, right. Now,
Yeah, we
I don't want to
appreciate
put
this.
you guys on the spot or anything, but
Oh, do it.
if if
I'm ready.
Yeah, let's
okay,
do it.
no, but like okay, so for somebody who hasn't read your book, so if somebody hasn't read the books and they're listening now, what would you say without giving away the plot that could get them interested in the world? Like me, I love a fantasy book. I don't usually do a lot of YA like that I can read to my kids because my kids they do their own thing. But
Hmm.
if someone
Hmm.
hasn't like read your books and they want to get into it, how would you describe it?
Well, what I would say is it's a YA novel, but it definitely represents a story about God's brotherhood, scandal, and family drama. And if you like all of those things put together, you can definitely find that in Finders Keepers. So I think that alone right there, give you some good mess, give you some good
Mm-hmm.
fantasy, give you a good time while you're here, even a little bit of romance, a little something, something just to get you going.
Okay.
That alone should bring you in. I
no,
mean,
we,
you need
we
more.
like
If
a
you
good
do, let me
romance.
know.
Right, 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 right. Okay, okay. Yes.
Yeah, me and Tiffany were both up till what 5 or 6 a.m. reading different books
Don't
and
tell my
texting back
business,
and forth.
Sarah.
Ooh, they're telling them the business up in here.
It was,
Okay.
we're on different time zones, but yeah, it was definitely like 2 a.m. here in Vegas.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm a late night reader. Yeah.
Mm.
I'm
Okay.
a one more chapter, but four more
Now,
chapters.
I tell you one thing: if you include Elmo in your book, her daughter will read it.
What's up?
Okay.
What's up?
Listen, please. Elmo is probably a trigger word for me at this point. Um,
For real.
She'll
please,
be arrested at Disney World, beating up on Elmo.
look, for real. But yeah, thanks for answering that, Maurice. Like, because I was like wondering, because I haven't had a chance to read them. Nita has definitely put it on my radar, and I was like, I want your perspectives on what I would be in for with the book. But yeah,
Yes,
I'm interested. You got me.
yes. And now I want to hear
Okay.
Kawan's description. How would you describe your book to the reader that hasn't read
Now
it?
you on the spot.
Uh-huh.
um,
You
I,
on with the queens. That means you on the spot, and we want to be in your business. Okay.
hey,
I
listen.
like it.
Just piggybacking off of what my brother said, I think it's the perfect blend that captures every piece of culture that you're kind of looking for, every piece of the culture
Mhm.
that you're kind of looking for. We talk about just growing up and the family dynamics and
Yeah.
how those family dynamics just affect your everyday life and then your dreams, your long term goals, how your friends affect that, how like the battle between you and what you would call your destiny. And then your connection to like the spirituality side. You got
Mm,
all of those things are kind of like doing this dance throughout the whole story.
mhm.
And it really grows and like starts to really define each and every character, but every character has their own interpretation of it, and so
Mhm.
that is what makes each of those characters kind of unique, and they just build off of each other.
I love that. I love
I
that.
love that too. I
Was
do.
it hard coming up
Absolutely.
with like the mythology and like the magical elements you were gonna use? Like, did y'all write that out first or did you do the characters first? Like, I just want to know.
It was kind of like both at the same time. I don't think it was
Okay.
hard to get the characters in the mythology. It was just like how can we gel it together. I think
Okay.
that was more so the challenging part.
How does it fit? How you make it fit together?
You said, I'm
I'm
sorry, say
Um,
that
sorry,
again.
Sarah. What was that
I
again?
said I was asking that was that a challenge trying to make the magic and the characters fit? I know you said you wrote them at the same time, but did you run into any trouble with that?
I'll say honestly, I think that was the fun part. Because
Hmm.
everything you see is authentic to who we are as people. So we did a lot of research together. Like because like we spent hours together looking up different powers. And but I think part of it, like if you read, like if you know people who will read it, you'll see names like Shango, Yamaya, things like that. That's stuff that I grew up with. Like I grew up in, my
Mm-hmm.
family practicing Santeria. So I'm not, that's
Right.
not something that I had to research to know about. That was something that was in my core that we could kind of bring together. And my brother has so many different elements in the book himself, like of who he is, that it was like, okay, we can just build and bridge it and actually learn more about these things that have kind of always been around us, but we've
Mm.
never really done so much research into on the level of why it's so important, even though it's always been in our lives.
Oh, I got
Yeah.
chills.
And just for people who don't know, Santeria is voodoo
Yes.
in Spanish. And I have to tell you, I love that part because I grew up in the country in Puerto Rico, mountains like
Mm.
Jibara,
You know.
and we had our local Santera, and
Mhm.
it was what you wrote was so on point as to what it's about. And I was like, oh, he knows. I didn't know that it came from personal knowledge. So I was like, oh, he did his research.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you were on point with what you were saying, with how you described it, and how it took place. Like it was excellently written. And I could appreciate that. And as someone who was around that and understood it, and um I got it. Like I got it. I understand, and it's interesting to me. Like I was fascinated, and I'm trying to say this in a way that it comes out right, because I get excited sometimes and
Okay.
things just kind of get all jumbled in my head, right? So, but I was fascinated that two men of color, two black men, wrote a fantasy book that had to do with gods and magic, and had santeria in it. I'm going, that is not typical.
Mhm.
How hard was that to get into? Because
Mhm.
we as people of color are geared away from those things, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Unless you're practicing them, right, as part of your culture, as part of your upbringing, we're geared away from that. So how hard was that to embrace that kind of universe that you were creating?
I think for me, like Maurice, he grew up in it. So for him, I feel like it was like he was saying, it was kind of just like an easy, natural process. For me, my family was extremely Christian. And as I got older and I started to explore my own spirituality, I was already kind of open to all of these different walks. It was
Yeah.
all spirituality like in its totality is very important to me. And so
Yeah.
like he's bringing me a whole nother like realm of gods and what they represent, and it was like, oh, tell me more. Like I want to know. Like I need to. So
Yeah.
it was fun for me to go through the research and then see like how much I learned more about him in that process, like what it means to grow up and representing these guys. And then for me it's like I want to do it justice. I don't want to
Yeah.
just just throw their names out there. I want to make sure that
Mhm.
Exactly.
we're doing the justice that it deserves. And so
Yeah.
like that is the part for me that made it very, very easy. It wasn't, I didn't really have too much resistance to it at all.
That's beautiful. Wow. I'm glad, because one of the things that I like about fantasy sci-fi is that it represents us, right?
Mhm.
Because before, even I think that maybe before Star Trek and Star Wars, we were not seen.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
kind of made you think, well, we're gonna be there in the future. What's happening?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Nah, that's
Right.
well,
real.
like the first
That's
thing that
very
comes to
real.
mind is like, think, when you just said that, is that like, look at the Jetsons. Everybody's white.
Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Yes.
they're not
I
even like mixed or Hispanic. They're all
right.
white.
Right.
Yeah.
But
And
they were
Yeah.
written by white people for white
Mhm.
right.
people. So in their
Exactly.
mind, we are not in their forward in the front of their mind.
Right,
We're
and
not
that's not
developing
right.
to make sure some
Yeah.
of these characters are not white skinned.
Yeah.
They're not thinking
Hmm.
that, you know.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why, when the first time I saw Star Trek, the original, I was 5. And it was a rerun by then. Okay, I'm not that old. It was a rerun. I'm hurting, but not that bad. So and the first episode I saw was Trouble with Tribbles.
Oh, you
Um,
had to.
yeah, yeah, love it. I love that one. And I see a woman on the bridge who looks like my cousins,
Mhm.
and she's beautiful. And I remember my father and my brother drooling over how gorgeous this woman is.
Mm.
Um, and she was the first Hollywood image of a person of color that I said, that's the standard beauty.
Yeah.
Mm.
And she was powerful. She was authoritative. She wasn't an ensign. She wasn't a crewman. She was a lieutenant. She was charged up to Spock. She served them fiercely and beautifully. So it's just amazing to me how wonderful they represented, because I think that it's important, to have beautiful representation, and to have uh, that image that you can look at,
Yeah.
and then you start to see in science fiction, in Star Wars, you saw black characters, and in Star Trek you saw black characters being developed and growing and being people of color, having
Mm.
authority, and then you start to see things like these characters that meant so much. Before the show, Maurice and I were talking about, and Kawan were talking. We were talking about how you really didn't see positive black characters until the Jeffersons.
Right.
And then it was the Cosby Show. You didn't really see success. You didn't really see that positivity until that moment. And it's kind of this evolution in TV and movies where we're seeing more and more of our people of color being represented in such a beautiful way.
Yeah.
um and I can't wait until somebody comes up with Latinos in space,
Maybe it'll
because
be
I
I
you.
want
don't
to
know if y'all
know.
can hear me, but I can't hear anything
I
right now.
That's why I
Oh, I
went
can hear
out.
you.
That's why
I
Y'all
can
can
hear
hear me?
you.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Give me
I
that's
can
why
one
hear
I
you.
went
second. I
out
don't
the
know where my
first time
sound
because
is
I
at.
couldn't hear either. I couldn't hear
Oh,
anything.
I
That's
can
why
hear everyone just fine.
yeah, so yeah, that's
Y'all
why I
need
said
better
that.
internet.
Right.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's just
Yeah,
Nita
I can't
because
hear at
like
all.
I think you've been
she
freezing a lot. And I think it's because you're hosting.
Really?
It's pushing
Oh,
us
I'm
out. Yeah.
hosting. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
I think it's
I'm
because
so
hosting
sorry.
is pushing us out. So talk about your own internet. Okay.
yeah. Maybe you need to go pay that bill, Nita.
Yeah, no, yeah, no. But I did have some other black characters done right that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Y'all want
Yes,
to talk
absolutely.
about
Bring
it?
it.
Okay, so
Yes.
number one, of course, Nita's gonna love Michonne from The Walking Dead,
Okay.
and I think her character was done right. Of
Oh,
course, introduced to
beautifully.
us as a mysterious katana wielding survivor. When I first saw her on screen, because first I was hoping and praying that they would keep it true to the comics writing of her, and
Yes.
I think Denai did an incredible job with this character.
Absolutely. And I think they did a really good job staying within those comics because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
read them,
yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
really did a good job in
But
staying
she's
when it came to her character.
right, but she's also not just a character they added in because there were a ton of black characters, of course, added into the series. But she was
Mm.
a co-leader. She was the mother. She was, you know, one of the most
Yeah.
beloved characters on the show. Not
Yes.
just she's just there. She had a they did when they did her full like backstory on how she even came to have those two, you know,
Oh
walking
yeah,
through like
that was so sad.
because they right because in all reality they could have and some other shows probably would have just skipped over that, just introduce her, she's here, she's a character, we don't need to know anything
Yeah,
else, but
they
Yeah.
could have turned her into that character that you called the here damn. You
right,
know,
Yes.
right, here she
you,
is, here you go, you know,
yeah.
Hmm.
whatever.
Oh
She
yeah,
had
you
pop.
wanted a character of
She's
color. Here you
black.
go.
Here you
Damn,
go.
have her.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, she was that girl. And is still
Yeah.
that
Uh-huh.
girl. They created another spinoff because her love for that man was deep. It was rooted.
Hmm.
And they did a spinoff.
She
It was
love her some
rooted. When
Rick.
a
Yeah.
black lady loves, it's
Yes.
rooted. No matter who
Yes.
it is. And they were like,
Line.
we need more.
Yeah.
And I think they built that interracial
Yes.
relationship beautifully because they didn't make it, they made it a point of not pointing that out. It
Yeah.
Yeah.
was more
I
like,
mean, we can
we
see
can
because
see
we have
it,
eyes.
why point it out?
Right. Right.
I
And
like the way they did it.
I think
Thanks.
post-apocalypse they kind of, I mean, for the most part, except for like in Woodbury, they they kind of didn't see color or race anymore. It's like it's
There we
us
go.
and
All right.
them
I thought
being
I was
us,
out for a second.
us to the walkers, and that
I think she was about to speak.
We can hear you. You're good.
okay,
Oh no,
okay,
I was talking about
uh,
Tiffany. I thought she was about to say, "Can
oh,
you hear me?" And then
Oh,
okay,
nice. Yeah, no,
uh,
yeah, everybody can hear me.
and just that in that
so
world that they created for Michonne, and you know that was created and that Michonne existed in,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't. That's I think that's one of the things I liked about The Walking Dead is that they they just kind of didn't get, we didn't, none of it mattered
Yes.
anymore.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
Hmm.
just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's we're alive and we're here and we need to survive, and that was
Exactly.
it. And it kind of it's almost like a an escape because all of the heaviness that we faced in normal life wasn't there anymore. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it was
Absolutely.
it's unique in that way.
Hmm.
Yes. It really was. Now, Tiffany, you have more characters you wanted to
More,
go
Of
over?
course I
more,
do.
more, more, more.
Of course I do. Okay, so let's do Riri Williams Ironheart. Ironheart, of course. First of all, I cannot say enough about how much I love Riri Williams in the comics, but their portrayal of her on the series was touch and go for me. Of course, I enjoyed the series. I want 10 more seasons. But I think the one thing they did do right about her character on the series is really showing us her family, showing us the community, showing us how everybody interacted with each other. I did love that. There were other things that had nothing to do with her being black that I didn't like that I won't get into. But I think the blackness
hmm
of it all, they got down. But she's one of my favorite characters that are introduced because she's a teenage genius. She's a black girl, teenage genius. They always still doubt her, even though she's proven time and time again that she's gonna be right in any room. Of course, she has her flaws because at the end of the day, she's a teenager. She's a young adult.
Yeah.
You know, she's gonna make
Hmm.
mistakes, even though she's a genius. She don't know it all, but I love that they put her in a position where she had some things to prove, and she proved them. And that's
Yes.
that's that's the bottom line. That's a character I want to introduce. You guys want to take it away?
No,
Black
those are
brilliance.
fantastic. Bragg
Yes,
Williams, yes,
yes,
absolutely.
black brilliance.
I do have a question for our authors. Did you get inspiration from Black characters that you've known growing up? For some of your characters, were you influenced?
I would definitely say yes. I think that I grew up like my dad when I was younger. My dad bought me this toy of Falcon. So if you see Marvel now, he's Captain America. But when I was
Right,
growing up, he
right.
was he was Falcon with the little red outfit. So my
Yep.
dad bought me the toy, and I had it, and I was like, that was cool. So he was kind of the first black superhero that I saw as a toy. Because as a kid, back in the day, the toys
right,
is where it's at.
right, right,
So
right.
I had Falcon the toy, and I would watch Storm on what you call it, X-Men, the cartoon. So those two are kind of like, I would say, the catalyst to, now that I don't even think I thought about it this deep until just now, but that's probably who Cairo is mixed up to be. That's literally where he might be coming
Right.
from. He might look like Falcon with Storm's powers in my mind. Like, so,
Mhm.
that's for,
I
I'll
like
say that.
that. I love
Yeah,
that.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
I would definitely
Go
say,
ahead. Mhm.
I would definitely say when we were like in the thick of writing, in the thick of it, Black Panther was also becoming a thing.
Hmm.
The live action Black Panther, like our school went there. I think we've seen it like 3 times. Like
Hmm.
we were teachers at the time. And it was important for us to talk about like step outside of the world and paint Black utopia in a way that Wakanda kind of did.
Mm-hmm.
Um and just the way that they show a king and his kingdom, the different tribes, like all of those things were very, very much heavy influences on where we took our culture.
Nice. I love
That's
that.
beautiful. I love that because it really goes to show how important writing these characters are because it influences other creativity. It's
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
important.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Now, we're coming to an end of our show, but I wanted to ask the guys, are you guys doing any signings anywhere that you're going to be that you want to let people know? Or if, what you got coming up next?
Well, if that's my cue to kick in, I got you. Here's what's going on. If you are on TikTok, you can find us every, what is that, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, 7 to 11 p.m. We are up there. We do a show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday where we get up there. We motivate other authors. We talk with our author friends. We talk about real life and all that kind of stuff. We also do classes. We have a poetry night on Wednesdays where people come up and they read their poems. And, we don't really critique them. We just show them love, but people be asking for the critique. So sometimes you give it to them. But for the most part, we just give people a chance to come show who they are. We're definitely working on Finders Keepers 3 at this point. So, while we're working on that, y'all can read Finders Keepers 2, The Quest for Ascension. And we'll definitely be doing some signings around this summer. Definitely in the New York, Jersey area, Delaware also. So we'll definitely be in those areas. We'll definitely drop some dates once we know exactly which date will be in those areas. But y'all look out for
Let
us in
us
those
know
places.
because we want to promote that and let people know where to find you, where they can get those books. We absolutely will support you guys through your journey. You
Yes.
are honorary sci-fi queens now.
Hey, look at that.
We love it here. We love it
I'll be a
here.
court jester for the queens. That's not a problem.
Yeah. But thank you guys for coming on tonight and for concluding Black History Month with us, for writing such beautiful Black characters that we can all enjoy and
Yes.
children can see themselves in and parents can read them. Grab yourself a copy if you are so inclined to reading a copy of books to children, and if your children like books like that, this will be better because this is actually better than that. I like Harry Potter, but this is better. So read this, get your life in order, and read this
Right.
book, okay?
I just
Yes, sir.
added it to my Kindle, and it's on Kindle Unlimited, guys. If you have that,
It is.
Yes,
It
it is.
is.
We put all our stuff
That
on there
means just
for a
I just
run
reason.
added
right
it to
over
mine just
there.
now.
Yeah, it is.
That's right. We want the people to
When can
know.
we expect the audiobook?
We working on it. Probably this summer. Definitely, probably like
Oh,
this summer. We
And will Idris Elba be reading it?
well, we gotta check the email. Make sure he's
And
not
see if he responded.
this character's man.
why did I know? Why did I know you were going to ask that question?
Because you know
Well,
I was
me.
waiting.
we're lucky. Well,
You
we're
were talking
lucky
about
she asked for
black
Pedro.
characters. I just kept saying, Nita is going to bring up Idris before the show is over.
Absolutely.
And you were
If
doing
we're
so
talking
well.
about Black
So when
excellence,
you
how can you not?
you almost made
You
it.
almost made it. We was
Okay.
right at the end.
Listen, you can get Pedro Pascal and Idris Elba to both read, and I'm there.
Are
And,
there
and Nita
Hispanic
would be
characters
like,
in the book? Because Pedro, I don't think.
He won't be fitting in any of the characters, no.
Working
But
harder than your
you
agents,
can't.
ma'am.
That's right. That's what you know the queen is a hot mess for this. Okay, it's okay.
Listen,
Goodness.
We love hot messes on this side.
That's
That's right.
right. But we are looking forward to that because audiobooks are beautiful too. Because it gives the individual who's driving or can't stop to read, or has a visual impairment, an opportunity to enjoy, a good story,
yeah.
Or
um,
neurodivergent like
and
me.
I actually kind of dropped your book name. I'm in a book club. I work for Senior Planet. We teach technology to seniors. And we have a website for the seniors, sort of like a Facebook, but just for the seniors.
Mhm.
And we have these little clubs. And I'm part of the book club. I help organize and post. And I told them about your book. That's right. That's right. That's right. I went there. I did it. I did
Thank you.
So
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much.
I
We
said, if you're
appreciate
looking for
that.
a good Black History Month, but support these guys, and I put the name of the book in there, because these readers, they love to read, right? And people love to read of all ages. And I think that this book of yours does welcome readers of all ages, and that's what's beautiful about this book. It's just so welcoming for everyone to read, and you don't have to be a person of color to read this book and enjoy it and feel like you're a part of the story, because it really is welcoming, this story. So get the and get this book, Finders Keepers. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I have to put it in my book club. Get it right on
That's right.
put it in my book club.
Absolutely.
We
But
appreciate
thank
it so
you
much.
guys for
Yeah.
being here. And thank you, and good night, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
Thank you for
Thank you,
having us.
Queens. Y'all be
Bye.
safe. Be blessed. Much
Yes.
love to y'all.
Thank you for watching the Sci-Fi Queens, and be sure to support us on all our social medias and check out our website